Once Upon a Time in America is a timeless, wonderful masterpiece that I have talked about several times on this channel. But as I've always said, you could do 100 reviews on this film and you'd still only be scratching the surface. So let's do what I've done before and look at one specific scene in the film. This will contain spoilers. I know loads of you have seen the film, but if you haven't, you really want to watch it first, you won't regret it. But for fans of the movie, who I know are a big part of this channel, let's discuss one of the most emotional and powerful moments in a film full of many. Before we get into it, be sure to check out my other videos about this film, which will be linked in the description and the pinned comment on this video. Okay, let's get into analysing this amazing scene. The scenes that take place in the past in Once Upon a Time in America depict young Noodles and his friends slowly but surely entering the crime world while still holding on to childhood innocence that is slipping away slowly but surely. This incredible scene I'm discussing shows the sad demise of one of Noodles' young friends, Dominic. It's a stunning example of the uncompromising and devastating impact of Once Upon a Time in America that director Sergio Leone teams with bittersweet, beautiful humanity. It begins with one of the greatest wide shots in cinema history. This shot became what people thought of when you said Once Upon a Time in America. This frame was so good it became the movie poster. What a stunning image that is. You just want to hold on to it forever. The glorious bridge, the buildings, the smoke rising up, just the feel of the streets, the atmosphere, you can just feel it, experience it. You can smell it, you can taste it. Sergio Leone just makes sure of it with mesmerising shots like this. As the kids cross the road, they are unknowingly walking head on into adulthood, because it's about to hit them like a smack in the face, or more specifically, a bullet to the back. Young Dominic is running ahead, dancing joyfully, as one of the kids plays the pan flute with that wonderful Ennio Morricone score. It's such a gentle and peaceful moment to start the scene, with the kids still enjoying their young lives, especially Dominic. Sadly though, the fatal decision that these youngsters made to become gangsters means their childlike innocence can no longer exist. And in the very next moment, Dominic turns the corner and sees Bugsy, who is assigned to murder the boys. Bugsy represents adulthood out of nowhere, gun in hand, coming right for the boys to show them they can't have it both ways. If they want to be gangsters, they're going to be forced to enter a world of life and death. The feel of the scene changes in a split second as the boys start to run, and we get this wonderful slow motion shot. Pure fear and panic of the boys is depicted, and time just stops as that haunting score engulfs the scene. It's incredibly disturbing to see children who are now forced to run away from gunfire, as if they are veteran gangsters. It's very uncompromising the way that Sergio Leone shows us that life has changed forever for these kids. Dominic trails behind because he was originally running ahead, and this for me drives the point home that Dominic is the one who should have been involved in this the least. He's still a very young child, and he ran ahead like a child would, and then he is trailing behind when they are chased because he's not as fast as the others. And just the idea of children becoming street gangsters at this young age is one of the most devastating aspects of Once Upon a Time in America, because at its core, the film is about a loss of innocence, losing control, time running away from these characters, who perhaps never actually had a choice because of their circumstances and the failures of society. Ideas of free will and fate are discussed, and while we are clearly not meant to like the men these boys become, we are forced to understand their journey, and despite their actions, see them as incredibly human. That moment when young Noodles, played by Scott Tyler, holds Dominic, played by Noah Moazezi, is so powerful, as the youngster comes out with his last words.
Noodles. I slipped.
Dominic feels the need to give an excuse to Noodles for why he fell behind and got shot. It's an incredibly emotional punch to the gut moment, because of course a young boy doesn't have to provide a reason, but the life these kids have created for themselves means he feels he has to. and it's so sad that Dominic seems to think they might be disappointed in him. Scott Tyler is great in this scene too, as Dominic's death really hits him hard and becomes the catalyst for the rest of Noodles' journey in this film. Noodles loses it and attacks Bugsy with a knife in an incredibly down and dirty and arresting moment. Again, you are struck by how crazy it is to see a child frantically stabbing someone, and then when the police arrive, Noodles turns the knife on them, going into a true frenzy. Noodles crosses that final line in this moment and becomes the man we will see later on in the film. A man of regret with the weight of the world on his shoulders, who doesn't know what to do with the guilt he feels, or how to get off this train wreck that his life is on. You can't help but feel sorry for Noodles and his friends as he is taken to prison at such a young age. It's one of the many slow-paced scenes in Once Upon a Time in America that focuses on facial expressions, gestures, camera angles, and that incredible score instead of dialogue. It's such a powerful scene full of unsaid things. The boys all realise life has changed forever, but they don't need to say anything. I haven't decided whether the characters are looking at Noodles as if they knew this would happen, or they never thought it would happen, or if it's just a strange mix of the two. The dilemma that Sergio Leone puts you in is that despite the fact we know that Noodles has committed a terrible act, he did do it to avenge a young boy's murder, so we can't help but sympathise. However, of course, as time goes on, the killing and immorality continues to build. Things only get worse as the kids grow up. So while this murder was, in a way, admirable, Noodles doesn't learn anything from it. This murder opens up the darkness of his soul in a lot of ways. And somehow we are genuinely invested in what happens to these characters because of Leone's incredibly beautiful and gentle approach. He's one of the only filmmakers who has managed to depict the gangster life as one of tragedy, regret and complications, instead of just black and white evil. So there you have it, one of the best scenes in a film full of classic scenes. What do you think of this scene, and of course Once Upon a Time in America in general, that colossal piece of work that we all love. Thanks for watching. Please click on another video on the screen now for another discussion on this classic movie, and I will see you guys next time.